Good day, everyone. Today, I will discuss to you the Article 5 suffrage under the 1987 Philippine Constitution. For the Section 1, suffrage may be exercised by all citizens of the Philippines not otherwise disqualified by law, who are at least should be 18 years of age and who shall have resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year and in the place wherein they propose to vote for at least 6 months immediately preceding the election. No literacy, property, or other substantive requirements shall be imposed on the exercise of suffrage. For the Section 2, the Congress shall provide a system for securing the secrecy and sanctity of the ballotas, well as well the system for absentee voting by qualified Filipinos abroad. So this section is intended for the secrecy and sanctity of the ballotas for the qualified Filipinos abroad. The Congress shall also design a procedure for the disabled, vulnerable, and the illiterates to vote without the assistance of other persons. Until then, they shall be allowed to vote under existing laws and such rules as the Commission of Election may promulgate to protect the secrecy of the ballot. It is the right and obligation to vote of qualified citizens in the election of certain national and local officers of the government and in the decision of public questions submitted to the people. It is not all absolute needless to say that it is an enjoyment of all other rights. For the political right, it is classified as political right, enabling every citizen to participate in the process of government to assure that its powers from the consent of the governed. The principle is that of one man, one vote. These are the qualifications of voters. First, you should be a citizens of the Philippines, both male and female, not otherwise disqualified by law. 2. At least 18 years of age. 3. Have resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year and in the place wherein he proposes to vote for at least 6 months preceding the election. However, there are persons who are disqualified to vote. First, any person who has been sentenced by final judgment to suffer imprisonment for not less than 1 year, such disability not having been removed by plenary pardon or granted amnesty. But such person shall automatically reacquire the right to vote upon expiration of 5 years after service of sentence. 2. Any person who has been adjudged by final judgment by competent court or tribunal of having committed any crime involving disloyalty to the duty constituted government, such as rebellion, sedition, violation of the anti-subversion and firearms laws, or any crime against national security unless restored to his full civil and political rights in accordance with laws. Such person shall likewise automatically regain his right to vote upon expiration of 5 years of sentence. And the last one, insane or incompetent person, as declares by competent authority. The above persons are not qualified to vote even if they have the necessary qualifications. Let's talk about the scope of suffrage. The first one is the election. So, election means by which people chose their officials for definite and fixed periods and to whom they entrust for the time being as their representatives the exercise of powers of government. So elections have two types. The first one is the regular and the second one is the special. The regular refers to an election participated by who possess the right of suffrage, not disqualified by law and who are registered voters. So it means regular election exercise on its fixed period or time to elect officials in the government. In Philippines, the position for president and vice president electing every second Monday of May every 6 years, while the local and member of Congress electing every second Monday of May every 3 years. The next one is the special election, one held to fill in the vacancy in the office before the expiration of the term for which incumbent was elected. So it means special election held if there are any vacancies in the office, like the officials retired early, died, or removed from its position, and it is held separated from regular election. So, in a sense, suffrage can come in a form of plebiscite. This is basically the vote of the people expressing their choice for or against a proposed law or enactment submitted to them. So, this is primarily used to gauge public opinion in general. The third, the referendum. It is the submission of a law or part thereof passed by the national or local legislative body to the voting citizens of a country for their ratification or approval. So it means referendum allows citizens to be direct part of process in making decisions in the government and gaining their approval through voting. Basically, it has the involvement of the legislative branch. The fourth one is the initiative, the process whereby the people directly propose and enact law. So it means initiatives is a legislative proposal that originates from the people. The last but not the least, recall. It is the method by which a public officer may be removed from office during his tenure or before the expiration of his term by a vote of the people after registration of a petition signed by a required percentage of voters. As citizens, in order to be qualified to exercise his right to vote, in addition to the minimum requirements set by fundamental charter, is obligated by law to register. So basically, this is where the special election held. Now, let's discuss the right of suffrage of our overseas Filipino workers abroad, stating in the Republic Act 9189, Overseas Absentee Voting Act of 2003. Overseas Absentee Voting Act of 2003. It is a process by which qualified citizens of the state of the Philippines abroad exercise their right to vote in pursuant to the constitutional mandate that Congress shall provide a system for absentee voting for qualified Filipinos abroad. That's all for today's discussions. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.